That is God here, and it's time to talk about Barou. Honestly, I feel like he was the most important part in this episode, but also the weakest link at the same time we have here in Blue Lock. This episode was a bit more intermission. It picked up towards the later part of the episode. Next week is gonna be very interesting, but I also feel like this episode was very, very important, especially with the interview that Ego had there and what it means to have talent or what it means to be talented. And some very interesting things were happening in this episode. And the revenge match, also the best team, can they really work together? So let's get into it and talk about it. Now, at the beginning, I really like the funny moments between them, Barou and Nagi always bickering. But Barou seems to be very one-track mind, so to say, kind of bordering on obsession. Even some of the characters made this comment, which is a very good thing, but also a bad thing at the same time, because we see him, he's very disciplined and wants things just the way he likes them, always at the same time, even wanting the room to be always clean. And also we have a great shot with him with Nagi calling him Maid Barou, and this Maid suit looks good on him, huh? Yeah, Maid Barou could be a thing moving forward. But yeah, the shenanigans, the bickering between Nagi and Barou this episode were great. But we also see how he views life, his rule, he never wants to break his rules. And even Isagi saying he wants to learn from that, having this one track mind. But also gonna get to the part why this is both a good thing and a bad thing. Now we have Isagi and Nagi training after that, and you see how disciplined Barou is while they're training together to work. You have Barou doing his routine, his physical training alone, always, hey, give me my time, 40 minutes, or however much he said then, and then I'm gonna join in the training. But he kind of inspires them, or a bit out of frustration, the others join him to prove they're able to do it at the same time. But the comments both of them made there, Nagi was like, before they joined, 40 minutes, that means I can watch a TV show. But Isagi is like, that means 2 episodes of anime. So yeah, they're still nerds at the same time, their priorities there, but they still joined. Now, Isagi wants to have this chemical reaction. He said it a bunch of times this episode, I swear. Try to take a shot every time Isagi says chemical reaction, and yeah, try talking after that. But we're gonna see if they can actually work together. Now, what I really liked here was, besides seeing the players, we also got the report happening with Henri and Ego, with the top brass, or the ones that were funding the project. They're telling them what's happening with Blue Lock and so on, but they wanted faster results. It always happens like this. The bosses always wants the result as fast as possible. Just get there, doesn't matter how you do it. And Ego was probably one of my favorite things in this episode. Just instantly called them out on their bullshit, like straight up, directly. And Ego is one of my favorite characters in the series. Now, what he said was a very good thing, and it applies to a lot of things, not just the anime here, not just football, in real life also. And for example, just look at games right now, how shitty games are. There's just games as a service, just push in instead of actually having a proper product here, or people treating them properly. You have saying, how many geniuses have been deluded, or saying a deluded genius goes overseas, he becomes a genius here and then goes overseas, can't produce results, just comes back pretty much useless. So you always want just the instant gratification, the instant profit, just treating them for money, having one out, churning him out, taking him for all he's worth, the money, the promotion, everything, and then he's useless. Of course, you can't compete on the world stage. And the comment he made here saying, what is talent? Is it being physically talented, your mind, everything? Somebody has a special skill. Well, it is, yes, at the same time, but talent, in Ego's word, is the skill to prove one's ability. And I feel like this applies very much to Barou, but also at the same time makes him bad, and we're gonna get to that. Now we have them bickering again, or bickering after they lost because Barou took the single bed there. He also cleaned the room very well. Nas made Barou doing a good job. Also see the other side, Reo, Chigiri, and Kunigami training. And while the others want to win and want to have this friendly rematch or small revenge against Isagi for abandoning them, Kunigami and Chigiri, Reo is out for blood. He wants Nagi only, and he wants revenge, nothing else. Reo is like that killer yandere girl that you said no to, honestly. Just give him a knife and he would be perfect. But after that we have Isagi thinking, what does this adaptability means? He also tries to connect a bit with Barou, getting a feel for him, trying to understand him a bit better, his play style. What do you want more? And Barou like, it's very simple. Help me so I can score. That's it. And move on. He tried his best, but he didn't succeed. Now, he said something really good, which I feel amplifies what his playstyle is, as in Isagi's playstyle, telling I can make your talents shine brighter, especially with how he's able to coordinate, make those plays. I feel if Barou actually works together with him, we're gonna see this amazing chemical reaction. And yes, take a shot right now also. But the comment that stuck with me, and even more after Ego's interview, the way after Barou left that conversation, Isagi saying, Barou is a wasted genius, and that's very, very true. If you think back at the previous match they had there, even though he's so capable, he's still lost. And why is that? He can't really work well with others, and it's even more amplified in this episode, and we're gonna get to that. Now, I really like this. I didn't think, or I hoped they were gonna meet. We have in the showers Isagi meeting with Kunigami, catching up with everything that happened. Chigiri also showing up pouting as a girl that got dumped. They start bullying him a bit with water there. Nagi also shows up in typical fashion, just drifting in the water. Then you have Barou, the swimming director. He's very disciplined, starts bickering with Nagi, and Reo chose violence. He instantly says they want to play against them and dismisses Nagi middle. Nagi tried, hey, we're still friends, let's catch up. This happened. He was very ecstatic, wanted to share what he's been through with his friend, but like, fuck off now. It hurt him quite. I hope they're gonna get in a better place after the match. But we have the match starting between them. Yeah. Even Chigiri agrees, Kunigami, so they're gonna play against each other. Now we have the planning stages starting. Isagi wanted to coordinate, talking with Nagi, getting along, but there was no getting through Barou. He just wanted the ball, just give it to me. I'm gonna do everything here. Now they also have to figure out who they're gonna choose. Isagi kind of wants the speed of Chigiri. Barou thinks that Kunigami might be better. Nagi wants Reo just so he can play with him, so they're not really sure who they're gonna pick. I don't know. If I'm thinking, I like Chigiri's speed, honestly. He's really good about that. He gets along with Isagi. He's probably gonna get along with all of the others. He can make the plays happen, but I would feel like Kunigami would be much more useful. Reo, I don't know. He hasn't really shined as much as the other players, or maybe I just like the other players more, but if I had to choose, it would be Kunigami. For me, Chigiri as the second pick, and then Reo as the third pick. But I don't know. We're gonna see who they're gonna go with. Now on the other side we also have the same conversation, them trying to figure out who they're gonna pick. Chigiri and Kunigami also try to organize a bit. Reo just there for violence. They chose who they're gonna mark. He's gonna be on Isagi, Kunigami gonna be on Barou, and Chigiri against Nagi. And Reo wants his revenge also at at the same time. They're not really sure who they're gonna pick. Kunigami and Chigiri want Nagi more, which is very understandable. I still think Nagi is probably the one that has the most raw talent, like the most skills without him actually trying. He didn't have the training or started as early as some of the other players, but I still think he's probably the best player we have seen so far. Besides the top three, those ones I still don't really know them as much, but we're gonna get to those also. So it's very understandable why they would want Nagi. But Ray was like, no, I don't want him. I want him to suffer the same way as I did. There's no Fury's corner, no Fury. Reo. He's really wounded. His pride was wounded there. He's really like a maiden that was dumped. Now, on the other side, speaking of the top three players, we see them again. They wanted another match, but nobody was willing to accept their challenge. So they're kind of in limbo. Nobody wanted to fight against them. This is where Bachira is probably one, if not the best character in the entire series. I'm not talking about skills and for just his character, his personality, the way I see him. Even there, wanted to wait for Isagi, having faith that he's gonna come back, that he's gonna reach at the same stage as them. Even goes in to talk to Rin a bit, telling him, hey, the way I see you're kind of looking blue, or blue as in sad while you're playing, so play with me and then you will have fun. And I actually agree he can do that. The way he inspired everybody, the way he made them move, work together. I feel like Bacha is one of the most important players and characters at the same time in the entire series. And I'm also really curious of the relationship between Rin and Saya as the brothers. Why does Rin want to beat him as much? Is it as a typical one? He was always in the shadow of his brother, or what happened between them? That's gonna be interesting. And also, I'm really curious what's gonna happen when we leave Blue Lock, if we're actually gonna leave Blue Lock at some point. Maybe we're gonna have the team that is gonna be formed in Blue Lock going against those top 11 players. I forgot what their actual name was that Saya was part of. That's gonna be interesting. Maybe we're gonna have a new generation. The series really reminds me of Blue Lock. I hope it's gonna go down that route. If it does, I can't wait for it. I always love hype, and Blue Lock is that type of series. Now we have the match finally starting, or at least the beginning of it. Chigiri and Kunigami having faith in each other. Isagi is very calm compared to previous matches right here, but things are not gonna be that easy for Isagi's team, because we have Barou versus Kunigami, and Kunigami had a game plan, to say the least. They're limiting Barou's moves, annoying him quite a lot. Reo at the same time marking Isagi, and they even managed to work together to steal the ball from Barou. And this is why I feel like Barou is very good, but also very bad at the same time. And they go 2 versus 1 against Isagi, as in Reo and Kunigami. Isagi didn't read the situation very good, because they passed to Chigiri, who outruns Nagi, leaving him behind, very frustrated, finally understanding why Chigiri is so fast, or how fast he actually is. And they kind of broke apart their team, their cohesion there. They weren't really working together, and they got destroyed, which led to the first goal being on the side of Chigiri, Kunigami, and Reo. Now, what I wanted to talk about in this episode mainly is Barou. Now, we all know he is the king of the court. He's very capable, one of the most disciplined players, one of the most talented players we have seen so far, but the ego is really good at the same time, but it's also really bad. We see it in this episode quite a lot, and even in previous episodes with the previous match, why he lost. And even here, why he lost again, because he always wants the ball, he always wants to do it, he doesn't trust others, he doesn't rely on them, which is good, but up to a point. And I hope he's gonna get past that block, because it's gonna be really interesting having somebody like Barou working both with Nagi and Isagi. I feel like he would just shine so much, even more the comment that Isagi made, I can make your talents shine brighter. It's very similar a bit with Rin, but I feel like Barou is actually pure ego, but Rin is more dismissive towards others, if you get my meaning. He actually just looks at them like ants, not even real people, the way he views them, even the topplers, even everybody there. I really can't wait to see. Probably they have the two biggest egos in the entire series, Rin and Barou. I hope we're gonna get to see the match between them and them coming face to face. Who's gonna win, at least in the ego department. But yeah, Barou is the best and the worst at the same time. Now, next week is gonna be very interesting. I can't wait for it. I'm really curious what you guys thought about this episode. I probably rambled way too much about an intermission episode in a way than an actual match, but I feel like this one are very, very interesting, and they hype more the action and the character. So yeah, let me know down in comments below what you guys thought about the episode, and especially Barou. I feel like he's the most important thing I want to talk about. So thank you. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. And also make sure you check out the podcast. So keep enjoying Blue Lock. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.